Hello YouTube, it's been a while since my last video. As usual, work, plenty of work, and plenty of other things to do, so not videos for more than 2 months. But there is two threads at the moment in the VC. One which is not for me, but it's an interesting one made by Richard McCook on a Q&A for YouTubers on the VC. It's not for me because I'm not chasing for subscribers of this sort of thing, so it doesn't mean anything for me to answer to those questions. But I'm curious to see what people are saying about them. And the other one is, I think it was put on YouTube 1 month ago. It is from Chris, Tunes from the Man Cave, who put 22 questions on the jazz. So thank you, Chris, for these questions. All are not easy to answer, but let's try. So I've written them down to remember which are those questions. So the first one is the favorite jazz find in 2021, and this is this reissue from Sonny Rollins. This legendary cover, and the record is Way Out West. So Sonny Rollins here. And I think it was recorded in the West Coast, so this is why Sonny Rollins is dressed as a cowboy. The next one is favorite reissue of 2021. Well, I couldn't choose, so I decided to show both. And this is the two Mingus reissues on the Acoustic Sounds series. So this is the Black Saint and the Sinner Lady, and the other is Mingus. Yes, those are very famous. Favorite new jazz release in 2021. Well, I'm always trying to find new artists, so there will be only vintage music in this video. Yeah. So my favorite new release in 2021 is Jamie Branch. She is a trumpet player, and this is her live session for Fly or Die Live. And of course it is on International Anthem. And yes, by the way, this is my favorite album from 2021. The next one is sax lead record or album, and I choose this one. This is a new acquisition for me. It is on Pure Pleasure. It's Stanley Torrentine with Ron Carter, Josh Benson, Freddie Hubbard, Sugar on CTI. And I think that there are around 8 or 9 musicians on this album. So with Stanley Torrentine, it is always melodic, sometimes bluesy, spiritual. Yeah. Great one. Trumpet lead. Well, not a new one, but I see her on stage, and she is Yaz Ahmed. I think she is from London, but her music is very influenced by Oriental music. I don't remember the country that she is from, or her family is from, but yeah. Yes, Hamet. So the name of this album is La Saboteuse. It is, I think, from 2015 or so, 2017. La Saboteuse, Yaz Hamet. Next one, guitar lead. Well, something very different now. It is an album from John McLaughlin called Extrapolation, and it was in the 70s. I can't remember. So Extrapolation by John McLaughlin. It could be 70. I'm not sure. Piano lead. Oh, this is a very special record for me, because I ordered it, I think, in the February 2021, and I get it in October. So I couldn't think that I could have got it, but this is this one. So it's the Max Roach Trio featuring the legendary Hassan, and Hassan is the pianist, and it is his only recording. So it is what we can say piano driven, this one, and the artist is Hassan. I was very worried because I didn't know this guy, but it's his only album, so maybe there is an explanation here. And then an organ lead record. My favorite organ player is Bobby Hutcherson. So this is Oblique with Herbie Hancock, Albert Stinson, and Joe Chambers on Tone Poet. It was reissued in 2020, and it's an album that was put in the market in '79. Yeah. The next one, trombone or tuba, I couldn't find because I don't have any of these records, but I wanted to make an answer, so I went for this one. It's not tuba, it's not trombone, but it's an album with a bass clarinet lead. So it is Locksmith Isidore after Caroline, and the lead musician on this album is Jason Stein, or Steen, I don't know. And there is as well a bass player, Jason Robke, and a drummer, Mike Pride. It's between experimental and I don't know, maybe spiritual jazz, but it's very powerful. This one, I love this. The next one, a jazz funk album. I decided to go for a recent one as well. It is Tenderlenius, the Shakedown, featuring the 22 Orchestra. And it is an album from 2017. Tenderlenius is a flutist from London, and he had the opportunity to record an album in the Abbey Road Studios on the 26th March of 2017. So he called some friends, like Yusuf Day's Fergus Island on bass, Gene Bassa on percussion, etc. And he just put this album making improvisations, and it's my favorite of his. So yes, this is my choice for jazz funk album, Tender Unius, the Check Down. The next one is a jazz fusion album. So it is one of my favorite records in all my collection, and it is a flute player as well, called Yokota, and this is a Flute Adventurer. It's an album from 71 from Japan on the King Record Company, and it was reissued, I think, in 2016 maybe, on the Superfly Records. But yes, this is a great one, jazz fusion. Next one, an underappreciated record by an artist you love. I love Michael Tyner, and of course the more recent albums are not very often showed in the VC, so I show this one. This is Michael Tyner Trident, and it's true for Herbie Hancock or for Michael Tyner. I like this jazz period because there are some for me this is not jazz fusion, it's a jazz album from Michael Tyner, but with the sounds of the 70s. I love this one. A live album, well, it's easy for this one. It is Forest Flower, Charles Lloyd at Monterey. And you have this fabulous team on this with him. So Charles Lloyd, Keith Jarrett, Cecil McBee, and Jack DeJohnette. So yes, you could say this is a supergroup as well. And supergroup, I decided to go for this Stone Poet reissue called Monet Jungle by Duke Ellington with Charlie Mingus and Max Roach. And I heard that it was not so easy for them to be together, especially these two guys, Max Roach and Charlie Mingus, yeah. So the next one is a record by your favorite artist as a sideman. And it was the more difficult to answer because I know that I've got an album with Art Blakey, which I think is my favorite artist in jazz, and who appears as a sideman, but I didn't remember which one it was. So yes, it is this one, and it is Soul Station by Hank Mobley with Art Blakey, Wynton Kelly, and Paul Chambers. And for me, this record has there is a little story behind this one, because everyone said when it was put on the market on the classic series that it was a big one, but when I listened to the album, to the music online, no, it's not. It was not so so great for me. But I decided to get the album, and when I put it on the turntable, it is magic, because it's the sound, it's the mood of the musicians. So yeah, a masterpiece for me. So the music is not everything. An album more people should know about. As I'm French, it's quite easy for me to show an album that you guys in the BC don't know. So I show this one. It is Florent Pélissier Quintet, Florent Pélissier Quintet, and the name of the album is Bish Blue. Well, it's spiritual jazz from 2014, French, great. Just check that out. The next one, album by an artist that should have been bigger, and I would like to show to you this Bobby Jaspar album with no name, I think. He is a flute player, yes, the third one, and here you have some names that could be known, like Kenny Clark, Jimmy Merritt, or Umberto Canto. I don't know this. So Bobby Jaspar was a guy from Belgium, and I think that he went to the United States as well, to New York, but he died unfortunately young in a car accident, I think, and this guy should have been very big if he have survived. A vocal jazz album. Well, I was looking in my collection and I didn't find the one I wanted to show, so I decided to go for this one. It is Yun Sun Na, Saying Girl, and it is on the ACT label. And so it's jazz, it's folk, it's a beautiful voice with an elegant vibrato, and yes, great one. So just check this out, and I found finally the record I wanted to show, so I show it. Two records for vocal jazz, and this is Les Demoiselles de Rochefort. This is the soundtrack for the film by Jacques Demy, and of course it's a musical, and all these tracks are composed by Michel Legrand, so this is a good one to own, especially in France, because these records means a lot for us. An album not many talk about, You Love. Well, I wanted to show one album from Freddie Hubbard, and so I show this one. This is the Hub of Hubbard, and this is a reissue from 2016, and from the MPS label. It is it's written on the sticker here. It is all analog. It's like Tone Poet, or like an acoustic sounds album, all analog, but it's more recent production, so it's not in the legendary label as Blue Note or Impulse. So this is the Hub of Hubbard, Richard Davis, Freddie Hubbard, Louis Hayes, Roland Hanna, Eddie Daniels. So yeah, great one. Record you hope to find in 2022. Well, I'm not looking for a specific album or for specific albums, because I'm more someone who try to get albums that are put on the market, like recent reissues, for example, or I can get some albums because I found them. So, oh, I don't know this one, I check and then I take it. So I don't listen online to album I should buy. I don't do that. So, but well, for my response, it is this one. I would like to find more Bobby Hutcherson's albums because I love what these guys used to do. So this is my answer. A new release or reissue you're looking forward in 2022? Yes. There are a new series by Craft Recordings, and this is the RSD edition of Art Paper Meets the Rhythm section, and with Red Garland, Paul Chambers, and Philly Joe Jones. And there is, I've got another one here from this series, and it's Art Paper plus 11. And there are, I think, another. This one will be released in stereo. This is the mono edition, and so I'm looking for all this series, but not all the records, because some of them are not in my style. They are too wise, I think. But yes, I'm looking for this one in stereo and some other records that will be put on the market in several weeks. I think that for the Art Paper, for the stereo one, it will be in October or November. And if there is a fire in your house, which record could you save? Of course, we don't have an answer for this sort of event, but I will say this one. It is Le Grand Jazz, and I don't know why, just because there are so great sidemen here. You have Michel Legrand, of course, Herbie Mann, Miles Davis, John Coltrane, Bill Evans, Paul Chambers, Ben Webster, Hank Jones, Art Farmer, Donald Byrd. So maybe if I have one record, I could hear some of them music in this only album. But yes, and this one is a reissue by Impex. So this is it. Chris, thanks for the questions, and it makes me coming back in the VC for a while. So yes, thank you. And for me, the most important, comment, please. Thanks. Bye.